Let's go. Yet the drag. Let's go. It is August 6th, 2021. Friday. Happy Friday. I'm gonna take a second and see if the audio settles down. Make sure we got good audio. Had some audio problems yesterday. I know my internet sucks. Today, while I'm kind of waiting for, internet audio to come in and see if I get some people to say, hey, audio sucks or audio is good. Let's talk a little bit about what we're talking about today. A little bit the hobby, kind of what's going on, what I've seen. There was a lot of really good content yesterday. Thursday was packed full of some really interesting content. I'm not just talking videos about the national, about what I bought and what I picked up. There was some really good thought, and I'm going to share some thoughts on those and go through some videos, some really good ones today. I'll also say there was a video last night that really hit me like a brick in the head, and it made me think about a lot of things. I'm going to share that with you as well, and that's the video. So we're going to talk about the bench clear video. I'm going to talk about a Luka Tigers and Bronze video. I'm going to talk about a little bit about Sports Card Anonymous video on Card Ladder as well, although I will have a follow-up video coming out. Michael Ham, how bad is my audio? Good morning. Great to have you. Thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate it. Good morning, Trevor. Thanks for being here, man. Happy Friday, guys. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a great plans for the weekend. If you, I hope you're spending it with your family and loved ones and all that wonderful things. Looking forward to August is birthdays for my family. My son's birthday is on Monday. My mother's birthday is tomorrow. My other son's birthday is later in the month. Thanks, Michael. Thanks. Glad sound is good because I got a lot to talk about today. I got a lot of good stuff. Good stuff to talk about. Let's first of all start with I'm going to go ahead and drop into, show you guys some stuff. Good morning, DJ. And then I'll pop out and ask and take questions and comments. I am looking forward to a lot of good feedback this morning. So please stick around if you can and hope to hear from you. So first, we'll just take a quick snapshot of the market. Nothing really special. Again, these are cards I used to track. I don't think I own many of these cards anymore. I think I still have a Luka. I don't think I have any Trays. I have some Zions. No Giannis. No Jason. No Ben. No LaMelo. Well, I have one LaMelo, but it's not a PSA 10. I've got Jaws. I'm actually been selling Jaws. I mentioned this because I think I've told you guys I've been selling recently, and I've been using that money, and I've been buying NFTs. So I'm just kind of removing, what's it called, reallocating resources. But I'm doing a deal I did a deal yesterday with friends where we're selling the PSA for $200, and that included a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 for $200. So that's 10% off of eBay, right, or comps, plus the PSA 9. I mentioned that not because I'm trying to solicit. I'm not looking for people to say, hey, I want to buy it. I'm not. I'm just sharing with you the way I sell, the way I like to, look at the market. I do this, first of all, I don't put it on eBay to sell it, right? I sell it to friends, through groups or whatever. So just a quick note on how I look at this. I'm not here to maximize my profits. I guess I'm what else am I talking to? Oh, wait, I thought I'd bring this up. Look at this. Yoo-hoo. This is a Topps stock. And I mention this because if you are not in the sports card world and you are an investor and you're looking at Topps, this is what you're seeing. Like, is Topps a good investment? $11, really not up that much in the last, when you think about where they were, year to date, right? They had the spike this is when they were just a mud, which means they had no company. Then they became a company and they spiked. Is the sign of the investment community, right? That's what they look at Topps as, right? I'm also still waiting to see what happens with Panini. Nothing's happened with Panini yet. Let's go ahead and jump into some of the hobby news real quickly, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. There's not a whole lot of cool, exciting, jump out and bite me in the head hobby news. I thought this Transcendent Baseball is cool. I'm not going to show that to you, but if you're a fan, I'll tell you what I like about Transcendent Baseball. I like the party. I like experiences. Like when I think about things that are on my hobby list, I don't have Grail cards right now. I have Grail events. I'd like to go to Industry in September. I would like to go to a Transcendent party. I would like to go to a Panini VIP party, right? Those are kind of events I'd like to go to the National, right? I haven't been to National in several years. I'd like to go again in next year when it's an AC. So those are what I'm looking at kind of for my PC, is collect some memories through some events. Let me dive into some videos here. Some videos that I thought, well, this one just really caught my attention last night. And I'll say I went to a basketball game last night. So I was in the car for several hours driving there and driving back. This was Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze, Andrew and Cage talking to Dan Fleischman and Daniel Leinhart about coffee breakers, right? And man, let me just tell you something. If you have some time, this is a good video to listen to from in the entirety, okay? I'm going to hit on some highlights here, but this video was insightful. It just opened my eyes to so many different things. I'm going to hit the highlights for you. And it gave me a kind of a call to action. Okay, and I'll get to that in a moment, but let's start off. So first major point that I heard in this, Dan talks about his involvement with Gary Vee. He got into the sports cards 2 years ago at the National with Gary Vee. He met Gary Vee. He started doing wax. He talks about he walked around Gary. I think he had Gary Vee's son and was buying wax with them. Then he talks about how shortly after that, if you think back to like it was early 2020, remember when Gary Vee was saying, hey, man, there's gold in them there hills? And he talks about how he went to his friend Adam Lefko and had dinner with him and talked to Adam about cards. Well, here's a very, very interesting story I want to share with you. And again, please listen to the video. Don't just listen to. But Gary Vee organized a Zoom meeting with about 20 to 30 of his millionaire friends. And he's told them about his passion for the hobby. Now, let me clarify something. Gary didn't tell people go buy stuff. He just told them what he feels and why he's in the hobby and why he's excited about it. Okay. And he said, and as Dan says, in about 20 of the 30 were like, hey, I'm going to do it too. And they went in and spent, according to Dan, $50 to $60 million in sports cards. I say this because there's a couple interesting things. First, this is the first time I've ever heard about Gary's millionaires Zoom call, which I think is influential. And I'm not bad. I don't think that's bad, because I've always criticized that the millionaires aren't investing in the cards. They're only investing in the infrastructure that extracts money from the cards. And this would contradict that, right? This is saying, hey, a bunch of millionaires got together and they said, hey, we're going to go buy cards. Other interesting things, because, I thought Cage did a great job with saying, great, are you guys manipulating the market? People are going to listen to this. And Dan said, no. He goes, it was really just Gary sharing his passion and telling what he likes. And he gave some tips about, hey, I think Luca, I think this is underpriced. I think this is undervalued. But he also talked about the competitiveness between these guys, right? These millionaires would compete against, hey, I'm going to get this card, you get this card, which what I think to myself is it makes me again realize there is an elite little boys club of well-networked people. We heard Ken Golden yesterday talk about how he called his buddy at MJ Holdings and got boxes shipped to him. There's this elite little, club where where we're not involved. We, the peon collectors, we're just not involved. And Dan says, look, no one wants to hurt this market. They're not going to sit there, hey, you should go buy this or sell that. Or even comments, he goes, Gary doesn't sell his cards. He continues to buy, but he hasn't sold anything, which again, I understand that. I could also argue as devil's advocate that by buying cards and investing $50 million into the market, if your goal was to build a marketplace that you could extract out, not by selling cards, but through other means, that's a great way to do it. What I mean by this is, look, if I had $5 million and I invested into, I don't know, somebody's restaurants in the area, right? I'm really investing in the restaurants. But then maybe I'm going after all I don't know, maybe I'm getting the consumers who are getting it. I'm probably going, this makes sense. But my point is, I hope you're following me. The investment made him aware of the fact that there's more coming, right? It gave him foresight and understanding things like StarStock would be successful, right? New marketplaces would be needed because these guys are putting in so much money. So that right there, to me, really, really was surprising to me about how close that is. Let me see. I got something here. Oh, okay. The other thing that Dan talks about, he talks about, the beginning and getting into it. Then he talks about coffee breakers, right? Looking at my notes here. Yeah, he talks about coffee breakers, and they go into explain to me what coffee breakers are. And I follow coffee breakers. I'm not a fan of coffee breakers. I'm not an anti-coffee breakers. I just look at coffee breakers and some of these breakers as the most expensive breakers out there, right? They're premium brand breakers. You're paying for the name. You're paying for the celebrity that's there. That I think they had some celebrities help them open packs in the past. I didn't realize they're 24/7, which I think is interesting. So they are really really creating kind of the Walmart or the McDonald's brand in breaking, where just think coffee breakers breaks. Dan mentions that they have a store in Salt Lake. They're opening several other stores. I think one in San Diego is next, and one out here on the East Coast in New Jersey. And as he starts talking about this, he goes, we're not franchising these. We're the investors, and we're looking for managers. And I'll tell you too, again, listen to this video. Dan is great at talking about business, right? Other things he talks about is the business of managing a store, about buying versus selling. So anyway, they're building out these not franchises. This and McDonald's isn't the right word either. I guess this is the In-N-Out Burgers, right? Because it's owned by the same company of breaking sports card stores. Dan made a good comment. He goes, look, one thing I talk about is I'm very transparent on how much I charge and how much I make and something. He talked about the show, and he says, look, when I'm buying at the show, I'm buying at 60 cents to 80 cents off of comps. So, and somebody else mentioned this before, right? The Bench Clear guys talked about this too. Anytime you saw a Pelican case guy selling to a dealer, he's selling at 80 cents to 60 cents off of comps. I always ask this question, why? Right? There's an argument about, was that a liquidation event? Absolutely, it's a liquidation event. The reason those people are selling them is because they can't sell them somewhere else, right? If they sell it for 100% somewhere else, why don't they? I just gave you my example how I'm selling my cards. I could sell them on eBay. I choose not to. I choose to sell them under comps because that's how I build my reputation. People think of me as a good guy with good deals. They get fast service. I follow up and they're getting good value. It's a win-win for me, right? Is that what's going on? No, I think those Pelican case dudes were liquidating because they can't sell. They need money and they're doing it at their store. So Dan was very open about, hey, 60 to 80% is what we're paying these guys. So that to me, I think was important to mention. He talks about some collections they bought. He talked about the buyers that are there, right? He talks about, again, how they're expanding out this brand and how you have to teach a new store manager how to buy comps, right? How do people come in, you give them 60% off or 80% off, you can trade value, and why that's helpful to the store. Again, all I'm sitting here thinking, Dan's a great, I mean, I'll tell you, I applaud Dan's business mind. He's definitely very business focused. It's about maximizing profits. Now, he talks about allocations and how important allocations are. He talks about his store doesn't have allocations. He does mention that it's hard to get because many of them are grandfathered in. And guys, I'll be honest, there's so much good content in here, so stick with me on this one. He goes on to talk about you can't buy allocations from the distributors like GTS and Blowout, right? You can get in, but you still have to wait because a lot of stuff's already been grandfathered. I got a sense of kind of grumpiness. In fact, he even makes a comment. Dan makes a comment of, why are these older collectors so upset about all these new people in the hobby? That's new, fresh blood. Well, I can understand because I'll put it this way: if I'm an old man in this hobby and I've got a store with allocation, Dan would concern me. Dan would worry me because I can see Dan as he gets bigger and starts building out these stores, they will get more and more allocation, right? And if God forbid things change in distribution, they will dominate allocations, right? They could easily put out little stores of business. One thing Dan didn't mention, but I have to believe is in the back of his mind, they are probably targeting stores that have allocations to buy them, right? Not just buy a new store, but go into New Jersey and buy Frank's Donuts or Frank's Sports Card Store. I'm just making that name up because it has allocations, and turn that into a coffee breakers. They're smart enough to know they're going to go after stores that have high allocation allotments, right? So to me, that's interesting. Now, I said yesterday, I think we're going to see a whole lot less sports card stores in the future. We have too many right now. He talks about the growth and how it's growing. I think that's going to have some challenges, right? He also goes into talking about he goes into talking about the National. They ask about what are your thoughts on the National, and Dan makes some great comments. He talks about the Breakers Pavilion and how it's a waste of money because it's done with so much noise, and that's a bad experience for the person who's your customers. I agree with them. I don't like the breaking at the National. I did breaking years ago at the National, but you can't hear anything. The breakers are in there with all the crowd noise. It's terrible. But I agree. Dan gives all these recommendations, how you should reorganize the layout of the National, how you should maximize. He just talks about how you build it and grow it. All very, very good business ideas. At the same time, the whole time he's talking about this, my tingling neck hairs on my collector neck are just going, damn, man. I felt like he's coming in and taking all the girls I used to date and making them work. And I mean that in a not nice way. He's got a really good business mind. I'm curious to see what will happen in the National. Some of the suggestions I've heard the guys in the National talk about, we're not moving between, they're going to do AC in Chicago and we're going to use this position. But if Dan and enough people get influenced there, that could be that they could have a major impact on that. And it could be good. I'm not saying good or bad, but again, listen to Dan's video and his recommendations. He talks about how the main stage wasn't utilized enough, right? He talks about, here's another thing that scared the hell out of me. He talks about the main stage and how it was wasted because you got to have these big names up there. You should have Steve Aoki up there, and you should have Ben Baller up there, and you should have DJ Ski up there. And they were wasting the stage on some of these other, there was too much downtime. Well, I know persons were on those stages. Some collector groups were on those stages. I'll even say the old group Hobby Hotline was on that stage. I'm getting a sense from Dan, he would push Hobby Hotline right off the stage and use that premier time to market and sell, right? So again, my perspective on this was, wow. It just was like, man, this man has a plan. He's on a mission. They've got money. They are going to change and revolutionize sports card world. He even talks about that. We're in the beginning of the revolution. Things are changing. The market's going to be here, but things are changing. I don't know if I like that. Now, in the back of my head, I'm thinking to myself, I still think he's wrong because I don't think the demand will be there. I don't think that. I still think the correction's coming. I'm interested to see how they're going to attract more talent, but we'll see. Another thing he talks about 40%. What was it? 40%. I have a damn note here about 40%. It'll come back to me in a minute. He talks about, okay, so he goes on talking about what he thought was the best of the National. He makes a comment. He's very pro PSA. He talks about how much he likes Nat, and he thinks Nat will turn PSA around. He dropped the number millions and millions of backlog before, which I thought was interesting because if anybody would know, and the number's been quiet, it might be somebody who's by saying millions and millions. And he talked about, for example, if you have 4 million cards and each one takes a minute, how many minutes is 4 million minutes? And that's a long time. He talked about how he's got to scale that. He recommended that someone should create a grading school and commercialize grading. Very interesting perspective. Not against that. I thought that was very interesting. He talks about his comment is he's asked who do you think is the most innovative at the show or most innovative auction, and he was a big fan of Golden, which I thought was interesting because I have contradicting arguments against Golden later on. He's asked about his thoughts on NFTs. Dan makes a very astute comment that Top Shot is screwed because they don't understand scarcity and something at 40,000 is too high. He also makes a comment that goes, look, even if 40,000, it's 40,000 of a dunk, but these players have dunks every week. How many 40,000 dunks can you have? I agree with you. Me, I think you have one image, one moment, one something of a player, not 4 moments every damn series. And then 4 moments times 3,000 is just too many, right? He talks about what's interesting, and I'll say this is where I kind of was like, I giggled, because Dan talks about how he likes sports cards because the numbers are known, the pop counts are there for him to see. Well, dude, you do realize that's just what you're seeing, and you're always referring to PSA. I didn't hear you talk about BGS. So he talks about how Luka and Zion don't bother him at 17,000, 18,000 PSA 10s because there's a bigger market. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, that's interesting. At the same time, when Cage asked him about Panini NFTs, he kind of dismissed them and put them in Top Shot, which I'll say they're not in the same bucket as Top Shot. Now, I'll just say I don't think Dan understands the Panini NFT market. I don't think he understands Topps NFT market. I think he's only, and I'll put it this way. Dan again makes me think there's a lot of people out there who, when they think NFTs, they think Top Shot, and that is a problem because Top Shot is a failure. I know you're like, no, Ziggy, it's not a failure, but it is overall. It's a failure because it put the wrong message in people's mind that you're going to get rich on Top Shot. Everybody thinks that every NFT doesn't make you rich is a failure, right? And then he points out that it over minted, so then it becomes a bigger failure because it trapped people in getting rich, and then it, tanked on them. I think another good comment was, sometimes the first guy in the door gets shot, the second guy in the door gets the arrest. So I'm excited to see, and I have more faith in Panini and Topps. I'll also say I'm not looking at Panini and Topps as investments in NFTs. I'm looking at them more as, hey, I enjoy the collecting, and I think they have collecting upside in them. So that was one thing I definitely disagreed with Dan on, is the lumping Panini NFTs in with Top Shot. I thought was crazy. At the end of the conversation, though, I appreciate it. That was a very well done interview. I thought it's interesting this was not live. I don't know if that's because they don't want live questions. This was recorded. I like live. I like to be able to ask questions, but it's okay because I would have asked a lot of questions last night. But again, my takeaways, man, listen to this video. It's an hour long. Put it on 2X if you need to. But you'll get some interesting insight into possibly what's coming in the future. And again, if you're listening to this too, if you're pro hobby and think everything's going to be great, you're going to come out of this going, damn, the hobby's great. This is awesome. If you're like me and you're thinking correction's coming, I'm thinking you're going, damn, a lot of people are going to get led to slaughter. That's what I think. I still think a lot of people are going to get hurt. Okay, next video, guys. Hope you're still there. And I'm sorry I'm going so long this morning, but a lot of good content. Next up was Go GTS Live last night. Love these guys. When I say I love these guys, I actually loathe the distribution model, but I like the guys who run the GTS show, and I appreciate what they do. A couple quick observations. They really talk about Sports Collectors Daily, and it kind of brought you up to date on all the weekly activity, which is kind of what I do. So I thought to myself, man, if you watch my show every morning, you don't really need to listen to everything. Like I try to cover everything in Sports Collectors Daily that's important every day. Some things they did do that I thought was interesting. They brought some more perspective into stuff. As for example, Topps is going to be releasing action figures on August 14th. Yes, action figures like Star Wars, Star Trek, I don't know, Goonies. I'm just making up Goonies. I don't even know these names, but they showed a little video of this. August 14th, Topps is getting into the action figure business, which I thought was very interesting. What else? They talked about the auction houses at the National and which were doing well. And they brought up two really astute comments. One was Golden was not mentioned at all. They talked about the fact that Honus Wagner's being auctioned by the company that I can't remember their name, Williams and something. And they talked about another auction house doing really well, but they didn't mention Golden. They actually said that there's a lot of competitive action in the auction houses, and they discussed that others were doing very well. PWCC brought in $100 million of stuff from collectors that they're going to put in auction in the future. So again, I thought that was interesting. And I'm only saying that because if you listen to Dan's like, oh, but Golden's the place to go. You listen to these guys and they're basically saying, hey, there's other great auction in Golden, which I kind of like that because, again, I'm not a fan of this Golden conglomerate that's out there. And I don't see any difference. I mean, honestly, I think Ken's nice, but I don't see any reason Golden's better than Heritage or Heritage is better than Golden. I think they're all equally poop to me. I mean, I don't have anything big enough to auction with them. Maybe if I did, I think differently, right? Oh, here's some other things. Of the breaks that went on last week, right? There was two big national breaks where they ripped open products. What I thought was interesting, these are pack fresh boxes, and the grades from PSA on site were 7s and PSA 8s. PS for I think it was Ronaldo Mega Cracks, which if it was a 10, they're like a $500,000 card. As a 7, they're about $10,000. Again, crazy how that makes such a big difference. You would think because it's pack fresh, you'd just be, hey man, that's a great card. And I think there's some basketball cards that graded an 8. Again, pack fresh, but graded an 8. So to me, that reminds me, guys, there's not going to be those older cards. There's not going to be new 10s coming. There was one new 10 with the Chicago Bear. I think it was Gale Sayers had a PSA 10. But it just reminded me, pack fresh. If you buy packed, doesn't it? And then they also talked about forensics card grading again, and that was mentioned in Sports Collectors Daily. I only bring that up because, again, there's so many card companies out there, new grading companies. I don't know why they keep talking about this forensic card grading company. I'll have to check them out, see what they're doing. So next up, and again, I did enjoy this. Very good video. They also have a little interview here with Brian Gray from Leaf. I enjoyed. So check that out. You don't have to listen to the whole few hours. I think you can hit the hobby happenings parts, and then they break some products in between if you like that. Woo. Next video I want to touch on real quickly. Okay, and I'm going to do a video, a response video this later tonight or tomorrow, and probably drop it tomorrow. But I will say Dakota did a great video, Sports Cards Anonymous, on Card Ladder's new data information, not new data, basically. They're basically giving you a predicted value. Now, I will say they did a predictive value last year when they had their whole Card Ladder scoring. And I was one of the first people last year that was like, what the hell is this? And was calling it out and didn't like this predictive value stuff, right? This year, they've come back with pushing value. You can see apparently when you use Card Ladder, you'll have like last comp is $100 and you have predicted value of 110. So they're predicting upward or downward. So it could be 99 or whatever. There's a white paper that goes in this, and Dakota does a great job explaining this. But the first thing I asked when this started, as soon as you start hearing this, the first thing I'm thinking to myself is, why are they doing this? And I'll tell you right now, and I'll put this in the video, the reason Card Ladder's doing this is because they're scared shitless. They know with eBay coming out with the tool, their lunch could be over. So they have to show their buyers, their users, that they adding value, right? So they're going to do anything they can to show they're adding value. So by adding a predictive value from the eBay tool, market movers are looking. And the way that Chris does this by building this white paper and explaining to you, one thing I'll say about Chris, who I think is one of the biggest grifters in the freaking hobby, yeah, Chris, I'm talking to you, is he's very, very intelligent and very smart at making people think he's very smart. Does that make sense? He's very, very smart at making people think he's very smart. And I'm not saying he's not smart. It takes a lot of intelligence to build a scam like this. And I call it a scam because here's the reality. What the fuck is this? Like, who cares about your predict? It's absolutely garbage. It's terrible to add this. What are you doing to new people in the hobby, right? So they're going to say, well, man, my predictive score is supposed to be here. Or it's supposed to be, why would you even do this? Again, the only reason you're doing this is because you want to add some other piece of useless data that you can then claim that is better. And that's why you should stick with me instead of eBay. A lot of people in the comments, one of the statisticians, a guy who does statistics, pointed out some of the math that he uses and talking median averages. I agree. Chris does not know what he's talking about, but he says enough stuff in this damn white paper that you're confused. Most people who comment on this will say, hey, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. It confuses you. Again, I applaud Dakota for putting it together. The other thing I'll say, Dakota, and again, I really like you. Please don't take this the wrong way. You do say at the end, you're very honest about this, and I applaud this. You say, look, I don't have any problems with this. I think it's another data point. It's giving me more intelligence, and you're a smart man, and you understand that. And you even say, look, you admit that you've been pushing Card Ladder because you're an affiliate with Card Ladder, at the end, you kind of give a warning, but you're not going to change anything. You're going to keep your card ladder, right? I'm going to suspect you probably signed up for a year and you're kind of stuck with it. I'm also going to suspect you probably get it from it, right? You made some affiliate links. And this is one of the reasons why I'll tell you I've never, ever wanted to do affiliates, because I don't want to be tied to a company responsible for what they do. Just like they don't be responsible for me. What if I find out the card ladder is a scammer? What if they get arrested? Do you want that to come back to you and you be, damn, I was an affiliate and feeding them the whole time? You know, I would want to. You can't, in my opinion, you can't give a true unbiased opinion if you're getting fed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying, I understand what Dakota said. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I think, again, Dakota, if you weren't a card, feel the same way about this, right? Quick thing I want to point out here too. I thought this was really interesting. Where is this over here? Or is it over here? There's this update here, and apparently there's a big score at National last week. Card Ladder reports that this RPA was sold for $550,000. So my first comment I'm goes, really? Why should I give a shit? And why should I trust Card Ladder? And why did they disclose this? If it was a private deal, did the private person ask for it to be private? Or if not, why'd they tell you? Again, I'm just going to, my mind is always why. My first thought is, why would I even trust Card Ladder? I wouldn't. I don't trust Card Ladder at all. What I think right now is that Chris has got some Herbert RPAs he's going to want to move, and this one going for 550 backs up why his 99 is worth more. That's exactly what I think. I don't trust him at all. But again, I think it's interesting that people trust Card Ladder, and that kind of worries me, guys. Again, worries me. Let me just remind you, these are the same guys who are still running this How to Collect class, okay? Here's Josh and Chris, How to Collect Cards. Here's Josh. Look, sign up now. Sign up now. I know this is here's what surprised me. Why haven't they taken this down yet? I've been beating the hell out of these guys about this for over a year, and they're still running this scam, right? They got a newsletter they can sell you to. You can pay $15 a month to get Chris's picks. Get Josh's picks. Here's Chris telling you a testimonial. Watch this before you go any further. I'm Chris from House of Jordan. This just makes me throw up. And again, are you guys foolish enough to keep this? They're keeping it up. Why are they keeping it up, guys? The reason I answer that is they must be making money. You see what I'm saying? If they were making more money from Card Ladder and they look at this and go, hey, that old scam's not working more, let's push it away, or that old scam could expose us for being the grifters we are, let's get rid of it, they have it. It's still there. As long as it's there, I'm going to give these guys shit. Jeff doesn't do this, but we give Jeff crap all the time. So again, I had another point. So I'm going to make a follow-up video on this, and I'll go in more detail this. But this, here's what I want to talk about right here. I'm interested to see, where is it? Damn it. Oh, I think it was, here we go. Carlos did a video on this as well. He kind of talks about Dakota's video. I have not listened to Carlos's video, but I will say this. Before I listen to him, I'm just going to defend Card Ladder again. I know he's a fan of them. He's had them on the show. He likes Card Ladder guys. I don't know why. I really think the part of it is a lot of the collector community is anti-Jeff because they see sports card investor as the enemy. And I kind of understand that more. I mean, as I become more collector, I do see a rift between collector and investor. I think Jeff's a much better investor and cares more about the hobby than I think the Coffee Breakers guys do. That's just my perspective. Anyway, I'm looking forward to listening to this video, but I'm going into it expecting Carlos is going to piss me off on this video, but I could be wrong. Other thing real quickly, a note, and Brad are listening, guys. I really like you guys. You're friends of mine. I've followed your channel since the beginning. I would move this show off of Thursday night. There's too much good content. And I'm serious, man. There's too much good content to watch the two of you guys insult each other. I'll also say, as a friend of both of you guys, I don't like that. I tune out. I watch your show because I support you guys. I think I'm an admin and one of your moderator. But just give me honest feedback. I don't like the insulting, the jiving back and forth. I think it's childish. And maybe that's your goal and that's your thing. And maybe that's your audience you're looking at. Maybe you're looking at a younger audience. Tune out, man. So my recommendation is move that to a different night because Thursday night's packed with too much damn good new content that's valuable to the hobby. And I hope that goes. Sometimes I'm like a freaking bull in a china shop. Let me get back here. I want to close on this video right here. This video right here I thought was very, very interesting. I highly recommend check this out too. This is a bench clear. The first thing I'll say is when I saw this, I know, I can't remember, Shaney. I know his name because I've been listening to Bench Clear for years. I've listened to his podcast. And real quick, Shaney and Ty, and I'm probably slaughtering the guy's name, basically started Breaker Culture years ago, and they did this podcast. And this gentleman talks about how just in the last year he's gotten out of the hobby. He's really just kind of walked away. And he talks about why, and he got disgusted and frustrated. And as he's talking about this, I can totally relate to all of it. It's almost like I was listening to myself at some point. I'm going to just give you a quick, I hope you're still listening too, quick moment to explain this. Back in January, I had a lot going on in my life. I was kind of disgusted with life and things on. And I think the catalyst was when Chris at Card Ladder openly threatened me on Jeremy's show. I think it was on the 31st. And Jeremy ignored me, who I thought was a friend. And then Jeremy goes whining to Jeff and the Hobby Hotline and basically wrecked my hobby experience. In December of last year, I was on Hobby Hotline. I was going to rebrand my channel. I was super excited. I'd been going since July every day, putting out content. And that evening, it really pissed me off. I mean, it freaking pissed me off. And that's one of the reasons, man, I freaking loathe Chris. I think Chris is a pond scum, a whale. Let me just say that too, by the way. I'm going to get it all out right now. I don't like you, Chris. I really don't. One of the reasons I didn't go to the National is because I don't want to see you. I'm not threatened by you. I'm not fearful of you, but I don't like you at all. You're a bad human being, dude. You just are. You're crap. And I'm not going to go into details. Jeremy, you're not much higher right now, my opinion, because again, you ran your mouth to people. You didn't have the balls as a man to come talk to me. You ran your mouth to Jeff. You ran your mouth to Drew. But I took 2 months off from the hobby. I walked away. It was going and I walked away from it. And the reason I came back to the hobby content really was friends like Andy, Jordan, Rob, some other names. I'm not going to let everybody out, but there are people who said, Ziggy, keep doing what you're doing. You got a passion. We like what you're doing. And I appreciate those people, my supporters, my subscribers, my friends who do follow and listen to me and send me a message. Ziggy, I appreciate what you're doing. But for those two people all like Shaney, I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm tired of it. It's bullcrap. I think I mentioned kids aren't into the hobby anymore. They're tired of it. They're selling off anything. It's them. If I give them a card, like, how much can I sell it for, Dad? I understand how this man feels. And what I'm saying to you right now is I've even thought over the last few months in certain times that I'm almost done. I'm ready to walk away. What keeps me in, honestly, has really been this channel. I really enjoy this channel. This channel has become my hobby, right? I put a lot of time into it every day. I think about it at night. I put notes together. I don't know. I need to think about that. I need to think about my love. What I do is I stopped buying cards. I haven't bought many cards. The last purchase I made, I think, was back in a few months ago when I pre-ordered a box of Bowman Chrome. Since then, I think I bought some Bowman Mega boxes when they were on Target, but since then I haven't. I know when Target stopped doing the retail, I stopped buying cards. I haven't bought cards. The only purchases I've made have been NFTs because I've been selling cards. I can relate to this. And I got to believe I'm not the only one, right? I'm telling you this because the reason I keep doing this channel is because of the people out there. If the people weren't out there following my channel, I probably would quit. And I don't do this for money. I'm not looking for you to subscribe to my channel so I get advertising revenue. I'm not asking you to put anything in my tip jar, the join button. I'm not asking you to, hit my affiliate links or anything like that. I just do this because I really enjoy the communication. I love that. But my point to this, and I know I'm going a little bit longer than I normally do in the morning. Listen to this conversation. I think it's interesting. Look, they got a little freaking panini ad there. Shaney talks about what was important to him were the people, the friendships he made. And it made me think to myself, I'm going to take this weekend and I'm going to reach out to my friends in the hobby, right? Send them a message, see how they're doing. There's some guys I haven't spoken to in like over 12 months. And I don't know why. Like we used to break together and I haven't seen them anymore. I don't know if they've gotten out of the hobby, if they're doing something different, but I want to reach out to some friends. There's some old breakers I used to break with all the time. I want to reach out to them. Hear how they're doing. How's allocation treating them? How's their business going? How's their family? In fact, maybe that's the first question I should ask is, hey, how's your health and how's your family? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and look at the friends I have and cultivate and see if there's I can water those friendships. I'm not really going to worry about the hobby stuff. I'm hoping that come on Monday, I'm going to try to cool it down, maybe be a little more uplight. I'm going to look at Pepino Man, who makes me laugh every time I watch his video. Right. I'm going to watch a Wounded Warrior who sells for the passion of his son. I think I'm going to go back to the people that care and the people I care about. Maybe try to tune out the noise. Maybe I'm going to drop some of the subscribers that I'm following too. Maybe I need to stop listening to the bullshit. Right. And maybe you should do the same thing if you're feeling the same way I am. I'm not saying, tune out. I'm just thinking I need to refocus my energy in my channel. And this video made me think a lot about that because I understand this. I know people will sit there going, oh, this man's, whatever. I haven't read all the comments. I'm sure the positive and negative is 9 negatives, right? But I understand. I understand how this man feels. I think a lot of other people feel the same way. I think some of us are just burnt out. We're sick. We're disgusted. So again, that's kind of where I am in my mindset right now. Let me see if there's anything else I want to touch base on before I go back to the chat and see if there's any questions or comments. But again, a lot to cover this morning. Hope this was interesting and beneficial to you. Damn, did I just go to the Zooming thing? Yeah. Okay. So we're at 35 minutes of me just babbling. Good morning, Michael. Michael, thanks for being here. Good morning, Trevor. Really appreciate you guys. Michael, thanks for the sound check. Appreciate it. DJ, awesome. Great to hear from you, man. Morning, Ziggy NFT. Thanks, Mastradamus. I do, man. I enjoy it. In fact, I'll tell you this. I enjoy the NFT so much, I don't want people to get into them because I don't want to compete against you guys. There's too many people and not enough NFTs. So NFTs suck. Stick with the cards. Stick with stuff you can hold. You want to hold it, man. Good morning, Nats, man. Hey, I really appreciate your comment about you and your wife watching. Again, it's things like that. I think to myself, I can't believe somebody and his wife like to watch my show in the morning, but it makes you feel good. Pepino Man mentioned yesterday on the drive at work in the morning at, he's 5:30 out in West Coast. He listens to me. That I hope I'm doing you guys. I hope I'm entertaining you. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Are the EPACs from Upper Deck NFTs or not? Thanks. No, they're not, from my understanding. My understanding, I haven't done these, but the Upper Deck did EPACs, have been doing EPACs where you go online, you can create an account, and you can buy a pack, and they open it for you, and they show you the digital copy of it, and then you can request the physical copy be mailed to you, and I believe they even request the physical copy and go directly to ComC back in the day. I still think that works. I don't know if it still does, but my understanding is Upper Deck's digital packs are not NFTs. Now, they're supposed to be getting an NFT market, so they might add NFTs to that, and that would be a really good move to give you the NFT and the physical version in EPAC. So you could buy the EPAC and you get the physical version and you get the NFT version. I've even heard of these viral NFTs, which when you redeem them, the NFT changes. So once you get the physical card, the virtual NFT changes to some other different image, right? It's still a valuable NFT, but it's not as valuable because the redemption's been done. And you might see that with the Funko Pops. I don't know if they're doing that or not. Bobby Perel, great to see you, man. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Morning, Simon. Morning, Card Hour. Vincent. Dude, great to hear from you. Big fan of your channel. I hope you're still doing well out there, man. I appreciate everything you do in the soccer community. Always love your channel. How are you? I know, dude. Where's Messi going? That is some huge news. I forgot to mention that. How did I not start the hobby news or the sports news up with that? That's big news. Big news. Hi, man. I'm fine. Yourself? Thank you very much, man. I think they will find a way to make him stay in Barcelona. This might be another push for La Liga to change the wage. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting insight. There's also a couple of teams that can afford him. He makes like 1.3 million a week. Wow. Very good insight. I think Card Hour and Vincent's one of the best YouTube creators in the soccer space. Do you think we will ever be cards, NFTs, and cryptocurrency blended store? Yes, I do. In fact, I did see before some people were trying to do cryptocurrency and NFTs. I can't remember where it was, but there was a marketplace that was doing that, and it wouldn't surprise me to add physical cards. In fact, I even mentioned it to my local cards shop. Like, have you thought about some way you could add NFT experience to your storefront? I don't know how they could, right? They'd have to get in the NFT space, but I'm sure that will happen. Here's a quick comment I'll make. I know back in the Lucas video when Dan was comparing cryptocurrency to sports cards, he made a comment about he likes that because it's something he knows. Well, let me just point out, cryptocurrency is an absolute known finite. They tell you how many tokens are available. It's known. Sports cards are not. We don't know the print runs. So I think that's a naive comparison to compare cryptocurrency to sports cards. The card over 600 eBays takes their 13%. How much does the IRS take? 70-80% is not so bad. Very, very true, right? If you're paying your taxes, oh boy, taxes. IRS, I know they're listening. Hi, IRS. I think there'll be small breaker shops. That's what's happening around me. I think the breaker world's going to have some changes in the future because I just don't think people can continue to support it. I mean, let's be honest. Even breakers know this. You lose more than you win when you're in breaking, right? Most boxes don't have the value of the box, right? So if you're a breaker or you're a breakee, that's what I used to be, a breakee. That's why I started Ziggy Breaks. I was always in breaks. It's a brutal world. But yeah, it would make some sense. Cross the play with him as well. Sad to see him finish. Yep, I agree. Would be interesting to see if they do change the regs. Shoot hurt. Yep, I agree. That's a really good insight. Imagine them not finding a way to make him stay in ends. Going to PSG, less ticket sales, less merch sales. Imagine him facing Barca in the CL and scores a hat trick. Yeah, that'd be crazy. La Liga is going to get destroyed. See, I don't know enough about the leagues, but I kind of follow you. Like La Liga, the league needs him because they bring in attendance, revenues, and if he leaves the league, that's going to hurt their league, and the other league would get money from him. So again, I'm following that. That part I can grasp. Not for thy. True, and on the other hand, if they did go and the team they have still win CL, would be crazy to see. CL is something I think it's a cup. Definitely, if he's not, that would hurt La Liga terribly. Yep, I agree. I like this comment for sure. Walter Payton was the one that got the PSA 10. It's the only PSA 10 from like a vintage card that I heard there was a big card there. And again, I want to say this. I really like your Card Hour's comments here. So if Messi ends up staying, remember, you heard it from Card Hour, man. Compare the Beckett Content Creators event a few months ago to the Gary Vee Millionaire Circle. Which do you think had a bigger impact on the hobby? What the Millionaires Club did? Absolutely. In fact, the Dr. Beckett thing made absolutely no impact on the hobby. You've seen no changes. And no one cares. People just dismiss it. Hey, he said we shouldn't do that. I'm going to keep doing it. Buyer beware, right? Card Ladder, future $1 million business down the tubes. We'll see. I'm just not a fan of Card Ladder, man. Not at all. Grifter is a good term. It is because, again, when you're running a freaking how-to class and a newsletter, which, again, fine. If that's your hustle, that's your hustle. But then you're insulting people who do that and you're running another business. What the hell are you? You're a hypocrite as well. And again, I don't know. Like I'll tell you this, I have about 500 views on the Card Ladder exposure videos I've done. You know, if Jeff were to do a video where he showed, hey, the how to collect and the thing, boy, that'd be eye-awakening. And again, I don't know. I expect someday you're going to log into how you collect cards or whatever that website is, and it's going to be down. I really do. I can't believe those guys are that foolish to keep it up this long. Dr. Beckett said they are. Doing the new 2021 price guide. Really? Doing a new 2021 price guide. Really interesting. Yeah, taking advantage of noobs. Absolutely. Feeding on fresh blood, right? Wolves need sheep. They need them. No one should need to read a book on how to collect cards. There's no right way to collect. Amen, Pepino Man. But look, again, Josh has written 5 or 6 books. So think about that. When you spend that much time writing books, you want money from that. I'm just going to say that. Josh has always been about Josh. Don't tell me you're about the damn hobby. You're only about you. Yes. Watch the vid, Ziggy. Carlos doesn't defend Carla. Really? Really? Interesting. That's great to hear then. Great to hear. And again, Dakota, I do mean with the utmost respect, dude. I really love what you did. I love your channel. I'm not a fan of Card Ladder. I'm not. I don't like them. They are the shadiest people in the hobby, and they go uncalled out, dude. No one calls them out for the shady behavior in the hobby. Again, even if you look at their show, if you look at their community, why aren't they involved with slab stocks? Why aren't they involved with bench clear? Why aren't they involved with other parts of the community? I'll tell you why. Those other parts of the hobby know what Chris is. They know who he is. The only people who like Chris are the people who have been fooled by Chris. And a lot of people have been fooled by Chris and Josh. He's very smart at making people think he's very smart. Ziggy, how do you feel about Dr. Beckett seemingly endorsing Card Ladder? I don't know if he's endorsed them. I haven't heard him endorse them. I think he stays. I think if anything, he stays away from endorsing anybody, and I think he balances pretty well. I don't know. I'll put it this way. I also think, look, Dr. Beckett has always said this and continues to say this. Remember, these men are businessmen. He understands that. So I think he respects the business. I don't think he's aware of all the things. Like if I had dinner with Dr. Beckett and explained to him how Chris sent a spy into the Facebook group last year, if I explained to him how Chris, like I said, made threats against me, if I explained to him Chris ran his mouth, I think he might have a different perspective of that. And again, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about it. I'd love to call you out in person and say, Chris, so tell me why you whined to Jeremy about me. right? Tell me why you whined to this person about me. Tell me why you were blowing in one person's ear telling stuff about them. And I'm not going to use that person's name because this person's now a mutual friend of mine. But again, that's why they will not go on a live with me. And anytime they're on a live and they see my name in the chat, they get nervous. That's why Jeremy, they go to safe places because they're on Jeremy's channel. Ziggy can't come up and ask questions right now. I'm blocked. Ziggy don't change. Haters going to hate. Always be grifters out there, but there is a collecting community that's brought together and keeps the real flagship of the world. I agree, man. There is, but I'm just telling you, I understand how Shaney Picks feels. I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for this channel has become my hobby. The people who listen to me have really meant a lot to me. And that's what gets me up in the morning to do this. But I could easily have not come back to the hobby back in February. I understand. I've been there. And I'll say this too. If you're out there, I have another friend of mine who's going through some stuff, right? He's got issues. He's dealing with life issues. And he said, look, I'm thinking about selling everything in my hobby and getting out of it. I'm getting burned out. I said, look, just don't worry, man. Step back. If you want to sell, let me know. I'll help you sell. I recommend you hold the stuff and think about it for a while. And I said, look, how are you doing? How's your family doing? Talk to me anytime. Call me if you want to talk. And I mean that, right? To my friends, if you're having a bad day, call me because I can't tell you how much it meant to me when other people reach out to me and I could call them and talk to them. It meant a lot. That means more to me than any goddamn card in the world. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate those comments. I really do. The channel is also one of the only places where people can have a critical thinking that also relates to the hobby. Keep it up, Ziggy. You guys are making me emotional. Thank you. Love the rant. Thank you, sir. Good babbling. Match Chris. Again, Chris is huge. I couldn't beat his girlfriend, dude. If the hobby is the people, this is a safer place to be. Have a good time, open eyes, all fun hobby. Thanks, man. Thank you, guys. I do appreciate it. Good morning, Flippin' Steve. I love you, Flippin' Steve. Let me say that real quickly. I'm a big fan of your channel. You're totally opposite side sometimes of the spectrum. Me, you're definitely more investor. You have a collector's heart though. But I love your channel. I know sometimes I don't always agree with everything, and I'm definitely not a fan of Neo that I know you're friends with, and that's my own thing with Neo. But I really love you, Flipping Steve. I hope I don't piss you off. I know sometimes, like I think of Flipping Steve and Brad and Dustin, and I know they're building great channels and great content. And I know sometimes when I pop up, they're thinking, "Oh, Ziggy's in the room." I like Ziggy, but he sometimes rubs people the wrong. I just feel like I'm that awkward friend. But man, I do appreciate you, Flipping Steve. I do. I love your channel. You're one of the best open guys when it comes to the business side of the hobby, right? I like that. Wise choice to focus. These vlogs are all personal opinions and entertainment for the most of the part, and some odds, good tidbits. Thank you, Bobby. Really appreciate that, man. Anybody got Will Clark refractor looking for 93? I do not, but I'll look around. I don't think I have refractors though. Upper Deck even does one free e-pack daily too. Kind of cool, but also get to sign in. I did not know that. And again, dude, I'll tell you, Upper Deck is just like this. That was another thing that blew me away. Dan Fleischman, and again, I'll just simply say this. This again reminds me, you're basically, he's self-promoting his friend. He talked a lot about Ben Baller and DJ Ski, and he was asked, well, who thought was the most innovative? And he said Topps. And I'm like, dude, there's no way Topps is the most innovative at all. I like Topps, but they're not innovative. Upper Deck, in my opinion, is still the most innovative manufacturer in the hobby. And I'm not trying to knock Upper Topps, but dude, Topps is Project 2020 and Project 70, or basically them saying, look, we can't seem to design stuff that people are buying, so let's outsource it to artists. I mean, and that's fine. I love Project 2020. I'm not in Project 70, just not my thing, but I don't see that as innovative. And there's so many things that Topps could do better. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. They could be doing so much more in the NFT marketplace, and they've just dropped that ball. So that to me, again, was me looking at Dan going, you're a very smart businessman, but I don't disagree. I don't agree with everything you say, because I think Dan even said he got in the hobby 2 years ago in 2019, and now he sees it as a business. So he doesn't have that perspective, right? That history there. Really enjoy all your content, Ziggy. Have a nice weekend. Hope you're back Monday. Thank you very much, guys. And I'll wrap this up. I have a feeling Topps puts on NFT cards next year. They should put some out soon, man. I don't know why they haven't. Thanks for the nice words about my channel, Michael. Dude, baseball card collector, you're one of my favorites, man. I love Bench Player. I really like your channel. You inspire me too. Because again, I thought about what you're doing. I thought to myself, just tune out the news, dude, and focus on collecting a set, and don't worry about the drama. You know what I'm saying? CL UEFA Champions League. Oh, okay, thank you. That's what it is. I have started using Card Hedge platform. I like the Card Hedge platform. I don't use it. I've been offered an opportunity to use it for their free trial. I just honestly, like I said, I have market movers because I have market movers. But I'm not actively doing anything. I'm not actively buying cards. I like to track and see. I've been actively selling cards with market movers. I'm taking a break. Brought a little Series 1. I understand, man. Sometimes you need to step away. eBay has some new features to show you card collection. And again, eBay is going to get better and better and better. And I'm glad about that. I really think that's good. I think that's very good. And again, in back of my mind, I really do think eBay is going to buy market movers because market movers does more than just show you graphs. I'm not here to pitch market movers. Maybe someday I'll show you that. But market movers offers a lot of extra value that if I was an eBay store user, I would pay the extra to get access to market movers through the eBay store. And again, Jeff's a businessman. He's a very smart businessman. eBay's already sponsored. He's been working with eBay for years. It would shock me, right, if eBay went and bought Card Ladder, right? It'd be shocking to me. And that's what I'll tell you. Card Ladders will try to strengthen their brand by telling you that, we vet data. Did you hear we reported the $500,000 Herbert? We were the ones that reported that. We're out there reporting, and we have this predictive value. And look at us. They're going to do anything they can to build that brand up. Acuna getting hurt gutted me. Dude, I feel you, man. Chris and Josh are mostly speaking to people who take their advice from day one. Those who didn't make a killing are still players in the hobby. Those who didn't rub the wrong way. I don't disagree, man. They have a very powerful message. They come across as this collector about how much they pander to this collector voice. I talked about how Chris and Josh are always kissing Nat's ass. They won't challenge him. They won't challenge anybody. They are them. Let me stop. Upper Deck needs to do Panini like basketball release. I agree. I case cards. I don't know why. I've said this before. I don't know why Upper Deck does not use the LeBron and Jordan autographs in more and more products. Remember they did the floor pieces about 2 years ago. Those are a big hit because you get Jordan or LeBron. I don't know. Upper Deck's Upper Deck. Hey, what's up there, Shane? Thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it. And Glorious P, Ziggy, are you grading? And if so, who? Honestly, I have not. I've not the same thing grading. I sent a few cards to some of the new graders recently, and I just kind of paused. And part of that's I'm just on pause, man. I also liked your comment I saw on Bench Clear. I know what you're saying, but I will say one thing to Bench Clear audience. You have put out some pretty downer videos lately. You need some more uplighting, lifting videos, but that's just, I can see that perspective. And Glorious P made a comment, man, you guys have been down on the market last few videos. And we all love Bench Clear because if anything, man, Bench Clear, they're building a media company and they do advertising and they have, commercials and stuff like that. But I still look at them as one of the truer voices in the hobby. And I like that. So do you remember Wildcard? They were at the National and want to make a comeback. I do, because they talked about that last night on GoCTS Live. Really, really like that show, guys. Check it out. They actually broke some Wildcard. They talked about it. Again, that's what I'm saying. There's too much good content going on Thursday nights right now. Really is. I think Beckett Media is on Thursday nights, and I missed them last night. Couldn't find their table on day 2 to get my redemption. Are we referring to Upper Deck? I don't know if they had a table. I agree. They're going to go after Messi. FYI, I never got the cards from the Donruss break for a while. Dude, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I'm going to say this real quickly. I'm very embarrassed by this. Okay. Without going on to a separate rant here, I've heard from several people. I did this free break a while back. And the way I did it was I used a breaker to do the break. I sent him the product. I sent him some extra product and some money. And said, look, this is to cover the breaking costs and the shipping costs. I want to do the break for the community. And we had a really fun break and gave out a bunch of cards. And those cards haven't been shipped. And that break is probably 2 months ago. And that really irks me. And I've reached out to the breaker twice. I said, dude, what's going on? The first one, I'm going to get it out. And he hasn't gotten it out. I talked to him like a week ago. And he's moving in the middle of a move with his family. And it's a family guy. And I know him. He's like, oh, Ziggy, I just haven't gotten around to it. But it's bad. It makes me look bad. Like, I'll be honest, dude. If I didn't know better, I'd be like, Ziggy's fucking scamming people, dude. He ran a break and no one got their cards. And I'm irked by that. And I'm kind of stuck in a hard spot because I can't do much but continue to pressure this person. This person has the cards, and I'm frustrated by that. I really am. So, Inglorious Pete, thanks for bringing that to my attention again. And because you reminded me to bring it up on a live stream because I do want to talk about that. A lot of people were in that break, guys, and it irks me. It irks me. I need to follow up on that. I need to get off this channel and get to work here soon too. I will follow up on that, man. I'm really sorry. Where am I in my comments? Are we really as far behind now? We can't be that far behind. Where are we? Oh, I don't know. Okay, here we are. Kind of sick of national content. Yes, Case. And again, Inglorious P, I'm sorry about that, especially because I couldn't go. Agreed. Jeff is pushing the sponsorship with eBay and agreed that will buy him because of the card valuation calculation. He isn't hidden the Paninsky file. I like that. I like that. When I was shopping for vintage, I saw a lot of people sitting up at the tables, pulling from the binders to complete old sets, tugging me in the collector side of my heart. Yeah. Yeah, I like the collector side, man. Yeah, that's BS. Remember just now, I was just curious if anyone else. No, everybody's having the same problem, dude. Everybody's having the same problem. Matt, I know you're not watching right now, but again, that doesn't, like, I did that to promote your breaking channel. And again, I'm assuming people aren't going to break your channel. They're still waiting the cards that we're supposed to send them. So I'll reach out to Matt again. And again, I'm embarrassed by that. I'm embarrassed by that. Why doesn't send you all the cards and you ship them? I could ask him to do that. I should do that. I didn't want to deal with that because I paid him to do the shipping, right? But I should do that. You're right, dude. Irks me. Hey guys, I got to run. I'm a little late. Went a little long today. I normally don't like to go this long because people don't listen to the full hour. But I love you all. I mean that. I love this hobby. I love the people in it. I love everybody. Even those people I don't like, I have a little bit of love for them because I'm hoping they come around. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I will be dropping a video, like I said, on my opinion of the card ladder stuff. I'll be back Sunday night. I'm thinking about having a guest on Sunday night. I try to keep the open mic night up, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting a lot of participation from new people. I love having Michael Ham on, so Michael Ham, please come again. I love having, breakout cards stop by, but it is open mic. I will keep that open, but I might try to find somebody who wants to be on the show every week and pick somebody to join me and then keep the open mic night open. So guys, thank you very much. Remember, you do you in the hobby, and remember the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.